so this next guest, his name is Johnny Ryan Weaver. Really cool guy, and like, I actually had to refilm this interview with him. So we're going to be talking kind of fast in this one, but it was funny because I had filmed a really long interview with him, and I didn't record it. So this is actually our second attempt at an interview, and he was a good sport. He gives a ton of great advice. Really, really do pay attention to what he talks about in promoting, and like, especially on Facebook and Facebook groups. Really great content here. All right, let's get to it. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the GamerPrenuer podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today I have a very special guest with us. I have Johnny Ryan Weaver of Click Gaming. Hey there, Johnny. How's it going?
Going good, man. How you doing, sir?
I am fantastic. It's a beautiful sunny day in Las Vegas. How about yourself?
It's beautiful out here. Oklahoma's drunk, but it's 74 degrees right now, and tomorrow it's probably going to be 40, but hey, it happens, you know.
Did you just say Oklahoma's drunk?
Oklahoma's always drunk. Like, we go through cold spells from like 48, the next day it'll be 91, then back to 60, back to 40. It doesn't know what to do with its mind out here.
Hey, it is a great state to drive to.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Johnny, so why don't you begin by telling us just a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, so I am an esports tournament specialist of 18 years. I have been involved in everything from grassroots programs, K through 12, college, all the way to the pros. I played on the Halo circuit for 13 years professionally until I retired, and now I work behind the scenes for companies like DreamHack, UGC, MLG, South by Southwest, all the big names that you can think of when it comes to esports tournaments.
Fantastic. So you have quite a deep history in gaming and esports then.
Too damn much. Too much.
All right, so I'll tell you what. I'm going to start the show with a question. I ask all my guests the same question. I'm going to ask you just the same as everyone else. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, Johnny?
I'd say about a 7.5.
7.5. Why would you say that?
I mean, you can't just be plain Jane, but then again, you got to be different. You know, most people, for instance, whenever I go to events, you know, most people you see that are working there are in jeans, you know, they're in nice t-shirts. I'm in shorts and boots and a camouflage hat. So that's just how I stick out, man. I just like to be different than everybody else.
It's funny you mentioned that. I went to a convention right before Corona hit, and I went in a suit and a tie. And everybody's like, you must be Agent 47.
Oh,
like,
God.
No, this is how I dress.
When we were at Anaheim, like, we were walking through the convention, and they, you know, they had their other things going on, and I guess they had some kind of like some fancy, you know, dressed up, and here I am walking through there in shorts and boots. And everybody's like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, I'm going that direction.
Hey, I don't think it really matters how we dress. Everybody's going to think we're weird, right?
Oh, yeah. If you're not weird, then you're just boring.
Okay, so this is the GamerPrenuer. So Johnny, I need your gaming cred beyond your esports. When did you first start playing?
Oh God, honestly, when I was probably in diapers still, like, you know, Mario Brothers, Atari, Pitfall, all that good stuff. And then
Pitfall. You don't hear many people mention Pitfall anymore.
Oh, I love Pitfall, dude. Pitfall was the best.
You know, Pitfall Harry and those like 6 pixels that made up the crocodiles.
God, I know, and just like you jump and the button doesn't register and you just fall to your death. It's like, all right, well, I tried.
That was Prince of Persia for me. I couldn't get past that first snake, no matter how hard I tried.
Oh God, yeah, that was a terrible stage.
All right, so you started in diapers and eventually you ended up pro. Like, what happened in the interim?
So in between that, like, for instance, when Blockbuster Video was around, my mom and dad and sister, you know, we'd go there to rent video games, and they had a challenge for Donkey Kong on Super Nintendo, who can get the most bananas in 5 minutes. Well, I did that, I won, and I'm like, I like this. And so from there, it transitioned to like Mario Kart, GoldenEye, Smash Brothers, all the way up to Halo, to where you see where we're at right now.
Wonderful. Okay, so what are you playing now?
Right now, I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty with the guys, the new Modern Warfare. I'll still dabble in Halo. I'll do Overwatch. I've been playing Valorant right now and whatnot. So I just dip into everything that I can.
Wonderful. All right, I got a couple more questions on the gaming side. Then we'll get into the business side of it. Favorite of all time?
Of course, Halo 2. Halo 2 is always the best, man.
No, Halo 1 had the needler, dual needlers, man, all the way.
No, you got to go with Halo 2 for all the good teabag action, man.
All right, I dig it. Okay, separate question. Desert island scenario. You get one game the rest of your life, a power cable and Ethernet cord. Which one is it? Earthbound
on Super Nintendo.
Earthbound. To your dying days, Earthbound. Okay.
It's
groovy,
the best
man.
RPG
Groovy.
out there, man.
Which town was your favorite?
It was level 4 with the mole people.
Okay, where they were all the second most important, something like that.
Yeah, there was that, and then there was also like there was a clan of like blue people, and it was just a mind trip. So it was always interesting just to try to see how the different levels went and how you had to progress through that to actually get the right stuff going.
They had to have been drugs when they made that one. Half the characters are on drugs.
No, I know, right?
All right. So can you kind of give me your professional background? You didn't just like start in esports and then end up being an esports advisor, did you? Or is that exactly how it happened?
So like I said, I just hustled and I grinded from circuits to helping out small people to doing them myself, and so pretty much just repetition, 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 and just kept doing it until finally, some bigger companies are like, hey, we've seen what you did, we'd like to work with you, and then from there it just keeps branching out like a tree.
Can I ask, like, how did you get found? Like they just popped in one day in your inbox and they're like, hey, you're an amazing person, let's hire you. Or were you out there hustling? Like what was
I
it?
was out there hustling, and what's funny is so back about 6 years ago, I was at a LAN in Oklahoma City. I had a guy from Canada drive all the way down just to meet me to see my events, maybe work with me one day. I was like, who are you again? He's like, oh, I was just coming down here because I heard about your event. I'm like, all right, well, and now we're still friends. We actually met up at Anaheim in California, and I was supposed to go to Canada to work with them during this fires crap, but of course, usually that didn't happen very well.
Sure.
That just shows you how crazy the expansion goes. That and just social media, like I do stuff on Twitter, Instagram, whatever I can, and people are like, oh, hey, I want to hire you because I like the way you do your stuff. I'm like, okay.
Very cool. Okay, so what is Click Gaming?
Click Gaming is my company here based out of Oklahoma. Like I said, we'll do everything from grassroots to K through 12 programs to anything and everything. We work with a bunch of different sponsors like the U.S. Army, the Oklahoma City Thunder, Extra Life Foundation. So anything that we can involve ourselves in, we try to help out the gaming community grow to where that we think they should be.
Wonderful. And what made you decide to start up the business? Like you were just being asked to do this and then you're like, I guess I need to be legit?
Well, like I said, I help so many people, and they're always like, do you have your own company? I'm like, no, I just freelance. And then one day I was like, you know what? Screw it. Why not? Just in case, because not everybody might not like working with other individuals. So why not be that middleman that everybody does like, and then I can cater to everybody else's needs to help them out.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you're a coach then.
Yeah. I
guess the term is consultant because you do the work of actually finding them rather than just telling them to go find them.
Right, yeah, and then I do a lot of coaching stuff. Actually, I actually got picked up by a company in Maryland, so I am an esports summer camp coach now.
Very cool. Okay, what does that entail?
So from ages from like 8 to 18, we'll play with the students there. We'll teach them how like map rotations, call outs. Pretty much we try to enhance their esports career, whether it is playing video games, running tournaments like I do, possible broadcasting, streaming. We try to incorporate everything in esports to what they desire they want to grow up in.
All right. I love the fact that you talk fast. We're getting through a lot of information here. What does it take to make a tournament? Like, say I wanted to run my own tournament. Where would I even begin?
First of all, just go to any online sites like Battlefy, Challenge, SmashGG, Matcherino, and you can create a bracket. From there, after you create it, then you just spam it across all social media places. So say if it's Call of Duty, you just search on Facebook, Call of Duty, and there's millions of groups, and you just spam to get more people engaged with it, and then just once you get people in there, you operate it, and then you get your winner, and from there, just do the next.
I absolutely love that advice, but could you kind of go a little bit deeper on that Facebook groups? Because I want people to understand, like, what do you mean there's just millions of people out there? Like,
okay, so let's say if you get on Facebook right now, you type in Call of Duty, you'll see in like Call of Duty for PlayStation, you'll see Call of Duty Warzone, Xbox, and then you'll see there's one group I'm in of Call of Duty Warzone that has 81,000 members in it. And so people just join it and they talk amongst each other. They show their scores. They try to look for teammates, friends. And so it's its own little social group, but dedicated to Call of Duty. So everything from Halo, Valorant, whatever you want, Facebook has multiple groups that you can find stuff on.
Okay, and you're not concerned about these groups like calling you out for spamming them?
Yeah, normally what I'll do, if I join it, I'll always first ask the admin, hey, this is what I do. Is it okay if I advertise? And then if I do, I try not to spam it like, most people try to spam every single day. I try to do it in intervals, and I'll even say, hey, is it okay if I bump this again to get more people engaged? So I always try to be courteous because I'm not going to be one of those a-holes that just blams the whole page full of nothing, and they're like, what the hell is this?
Okay. Is that difficult to reach out to the admins? Like, is it this like the big, long, complicated process they're going to vet you, or is it just a simple message?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So if I go into a group, I'm like, hey, thanks for the ad. I run this. Is it okay? And if I don't hear anything, then I'll post it. And if it's one of those you got to wait for the admin to approve and it gets denied, then I'll go to the admin and say, hey, I tried reaching out to you guys. No one got back to me. So I just wanted to risk the biscuit and see what happens. And normally they're cool with it. They're like, oh yeah, we appreciate it. That you're not spam, that you're actually legit, because 9 times out of 10 people will try to do a tournament, but they'll try hustling people and taking their money and not doing it. So that gets a bad rep to the community if they allow it to be on their site. So I understand. It's like a catch-22 in a way.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so that's how I start like an online tournament. Say I wanted to scale up, not quite DreamHack level, but maybe a small local one. What steps do I need to do that?
From there, you would need to find some kind of place in your hometown or state that has enough area for electronics, for equipment, internet, and then, of course, from there, you want to go and start trying to reach out to sponsors that might want to help it, whether it's a food company, a company that can give you money for pot. There's so many different areas that you can look at to try to make it, but it's like, look at a clock. There's so many gears that go to operate this clock, and you need the same thing to do it. So you can pick up sponsors, but you got to make sure everything is legit, like I said, what a company would need. You can't just be like, hey, I want to do this, and well, what do you have? I ain't got crap. Can you give me something? They're not going to like that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't try.
yeah, you can try. The worst answer you'll get in life is no, and then from there, well, I'm going to try again.
Okay, fantastic. How did you learn all this? Like, where do I go to like study this stuff myself?
I'm just a country boy, man. I just learned to always go out there and never meet a stranger. Just shake hands and try your best. And if that fails, well, figure out what happened, dust it off, and go again.
Beautiful. Okay, so what advice would you have for anybody who maybe want to be following your footsteps, do what you do?
So for those who want to do what I do, honestly, never give up. You will get haters in life. You will get people that will tell you you'll never amount to anything. And what's funny is most stereotypical people think, well, for me to succeed in this area, I have to be in some fancy big state. I have to have the best equipment, the best internet. I live in a small town of 800 people. I have an internet connection of 10 megabytes down and like a 0.9 up and a 78 ping. It's crappy, but it doesn't matter. If you have that goal in your mind and it's a drive, go for it. Don't let anybody hold you back.
You're definitely your own person. You have no interest in leaving Oklahoma?
I've been offered different states and whatnot to go work. And the money would have been great, but at the same time, I'm kind of stuck in my home state just because of how much I'm making it, evolve and grow. But as I'm 35, maybe another 10 years, I might leave and go somewhere.
Wonderful. Okay. So you've been doing this for about how long then, the organizing?
18 years now.
Okay. So you've been playing in esports and doing this for 18 years.
Yep.
If you could go back in time, you can talk to little Johnny. What advice would you give him in order to just 10x what he's done?
Oh, Lord, sometimes not get overseated in your head from thinking how good you are. Because there's been times where I got over cocky in my head and I blew a championship that I had. I was like, oh, these guys ain't nothing, and I just sucked. So honestly, just take every day with a roll of punches and just try your best, no matter how big or small it might be. Because in this gaming industry, there is ups and downs like there is in real life, whether that is gaming, whether that's relationships, anything and everything can happen to you, but always keep your head held high no matter what's going on.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Okay. Now, you've been in this for 18 years. Where do you think the industry is going to be in the next 5?
Honestly, I would see us overtaking the major sports like NFL, NBA, etc. as far as viewers. I mean, if you look at like Singapore, France, UK, their stadiums are the size of our sports stadiums, filled full to the brim with gamers. So it's like going to a rock concert, but with gaming. And I would love to see that here in the U.S. We have the capability. We just everybody has to get on the same page, more or less.
Okay. And how are you helping advance that vision?
So honestly, that's why I freelance. I could lock myself down to one company or two, but by me freelancing, it lets me go around and give my passion towards the other groups to show them how things can be done. And from there, a lot of people have picked up what I've suggested. And so it's slowly expanding. I mean, it would be great if it took off faster, but sometimes things are better to slowly adapt than just blow up, because then you're like, well, what do we do now? We're here, but we ain't got the crap we need.
All right. So I want to pull back for a second, if I can, and talk about more you as a person. Okay. Now, you've told us all about this fantastic success you've had, all these wonderful things you're doing. And, I genuinely believe that we can only learn so much from success, but we learn more from failures, especially other people's failures. No need to go through it yourself. So, Johnny, what is your biggest failure you're willing to admit?
So honestly, I'm trying to think here. The biggest failure is sometimes there has been smaller opportunities that I had the chance to do. And then again, like I said, I was just so busy and so wrapped up in the success that I had that I tossed it away. And now some of those small opportunities are huge. And whether that would have been a gaming thing or like I said, a relationship or whatever, sometimes you just can't sniff the smallest things because they might bite you in the butt and come up bigger than what you might think of.
Absolutely. Now, what advice would you have for someone who like may get those small opportunities, just doesn't seem like it's worth the time at the moment? What would you tell them?
I mean, honestly, if you do have the slightest bit of time, just try it. And that's the thing too, is it's better to try and fail than say what if and never do it at all.
Okay. Now, Johnny, what are you not very good at?
Well, let's see here. I am not very good at drawing. What's funny is I'm colorblind, so it's interesting when I play a game that has my teammates. I mean, if I had the logos on my team, that's fine, but there'll be times where I'll just see a person and it looks just like an enemy, and it's my team member. And I'll most of them like, oops, sorry.
All right. Normally, I would ask you, what are you doing to correct that? But have you tried those glasses?
Yeah, actually, well, I haven't done the colorblind ones, but I do have just like some blue light gaming glasses, which do highlight and like kind of give a different residual. Myself, though, I just have to pay attention to the map and where the callouts in my headset are going, so I don't actually, like I said, mow or throw a grenade in the wrong direction, because it has happened 9 times out of 10.
That's fantastic. Okay. Now, what do you think people seem to misunderstand about you when they first meet you? Because you're coming in as this consultant to do esports, and you're wearing camo at the moment, tats and all the Southern accent. Like, obviously they misunderstand something.
Oh yeah, no. What's funny too is it really happens a lot in the dating area. So if I'm out there, well, what do you do for a job? Oh, I do gaming. Oh, so you're one of those guys that just sit at home in your mom's basement and play all day? Oh, so I guess in a lot of people's minds, when they hear gaming, like I said, they just think of a nerd sitting at home. When there is so much involved, what we do is the same as like someone watching sports on TVs, from the casters to the television people actually recording it to the players. It's all the same. It's just in a digital world compared to a physical world that you're seeing, in front of you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you bring that up, because the stated mission of this show is to dispel the myth of the lazy, unmotivated basement dweller. Right. So I apologize that you have to go through that on dates too.
It happens, man. It happens.
All right. So Johnny, thank you so much for this interview. How do people find you? How are they able to reach out to you on social media?
So they can either go to Facebook and just type in Johnny Ryan Weaver. If they go to Twitter, it's just Icychiller54, and Instagram, it's just Icychiller. And so just type all those in and you'll be able to find me.
Beautiful. Okay. I really do appreciate you coming on with us today. Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything I didn't ask you think we still need to cover?
I mean, honestly, just don't let the online bullies get you down. We all have bad days in gaming, and some days we don't. And then also, if you do want to try anything in gaming, don't let those that don't understand it put your dreams to the dirt.
Beautiful. That's wonderful advice. Well, Johnny Ryan Weaver with Click Gaming, thank you so much for coming on today.
I appreciate the opportunity, GamerPrenuer. It's great to meet people that enjoy the same passion that we have,
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, this is actually the second time we're doing this interview, because I didn't record it the first time. Well, Johnny, thank you so much. And everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.
That's right.